Good morning. Today is day number 16, right? 16. I'm glad that you are still in this journey of 21 days prayer and fasting. I'm sure this thing is familiar to you. It's called stomach growling, right? How many of you experience this during your fasting, right? This is something that oftentimes described as stomach rumble or stomach growling. And that happens due to the liquid or the food or the gas that pass through our small intestine. It is beyond you and I, our control. It's beyond our control. It will kind of like have the sound and keep nudging you and reminding you that you are hungry. You need physical food, right? It reminds you that you need some nasi lemak, some Hokkien mee soup, and a bite from the fried chicken. It reminds you all that. Even right now, you're listening to this. Maybe you already experienced the stomach growling, right? In fact, this is something that we all will experience in our life. It's just having that sound to remind you that, hey, it's time to eat, it's time to eat, you need to eat, you need to eat, you need physical food. My point is this hunger leads us to have that physical food. It's a reminder that we need to have the physical food. But do you know that there's something even more important than the physical food? Jesus mentioned it in one of the Beatitudes in the book of Matthew chapter 5 verse 6. He said, "Blessed are those who are hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled." They shall be filled. Here Jesus used the word hunger and thirst. Hunger and thirst. It shows us the necessity that we cannot live without. This is something that we truly need. This is something that even more important than the physical food, right? And he said, thirst, hunger and thirst for what? Righteousness. And that word signifies the right standing with God, the complete obedience to God, and also the holiness. That word packed with all these things, right? This is something more important to obey, to have the obedience and right standing with God and justice. This is all more important than just the normal physical food. This is something that we all cannot live without. So from here you can see that it is more important to have that kind of stomach growling for the spiritual food, that kind of spiritual growling for spiritual food, than just the physical food. It is better to have a hunger that leads us back to the presence of God, hunger for the presence of God, hunger for the spiritual food, than just the physical food. The prodigal son? The prodigal son was hungry, and his hunger leads him back to his father. Look at the verse together. Luke chapter 15 verse 14 to 17. About the time his money ran out, a great famine swept over the land, and he began to starve. He persuaded a local farmer to hire him to feed his pigs. The boy became so hungry, look at the word, so hungry, that even the pots he was feeding the pigs looked good to him. But no one gave him anything. When he finally came to his senses, he said to himself, "At home, even the hired men have what? Have food enough to spare. And here I am, dying of hunger." Wow. May all of us have this spiritual hunger that lead us, wake us up from our own pig farm, right? But lead us back to the love, the blessing, and the intimate presence of God. Amen. God bless you.